Aeschylus.
My lady.
The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice. Thou art as pregnant in art and practice as any that we remember. Here's thy commission, which will not have you all. Angelo, I bid thee come forth. What figure of us think you he will bear? For as you must know, we have elected him in our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him in our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
Always obedient to your grace's will, I've come to know your will.
Angelo, there is a kind of character in thy life that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thine belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us, as we with torches do not light them for themselves. For if our virtues do not go forth of us, 'twere all alike, as if we had them not. Therefore, Angelo, be thy at fully ourselves. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lady, let there be some more test made upon my medal before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with the 11th and prepared choice proceeded to you. Therefore, take your honors. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you, as time and our good fortune shall importune, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So, fare thee well. To the hopeful execution do I leave thee of thy commission.
Yet give leave, my lady, that we may bring you something along the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor admit you, on mine honor, have to deal with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, to enforce or qualify the laws as your soul seems good. Give me thy hand. I'll privily away. Though I do love the people, I do not like to stage me to their eyes, their loud applause and always vehement. Nor do I trust the man that does affect it. Friendly.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring ye back in happiness.
Thank you. Friendly.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look in the bottom of my place a power I have, but of what strength and nature I'm not yet instructed.
'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
Myself wrong, have I not?
Yes, that thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free.
Well, there was one yonder arrested and carried to prison, was worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray thee?
Marry, sir, that is Claudio, Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so.
Nay, I know it is so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and what's more, within these 3 days, his head to be chopped off.
I would not have it so. Art thou sure of this?
I am too sure of it, and it is for getting Madame Giulietta with child.
Lady, why must thou show me thus to the world? There be the prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offense by weight. In the words of heaven, on whom it will, and on whom it will not. Still, it is just.
How now, Claudio, whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, my Lucio. Liberty. As surfeit is the father of much fast, so every scope turns the immoderate use to restraint. Our natures do pursue, like rats that raven down in their proper bane, a thirsty evil, and when we drink, we die.
If I could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would send for certain of my creditors. And yet, to say the truth, I had as lief have the foppery of freedom as the mortality of imprisonment. What's thy offense?
But to speak of what offend again?
What, is murder?
No.
Lechery?
Call it so.
Away! Sir, you must go.
Officer, but a word. Come, Lucio.
100 if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I gained possession of Juliet's bed. I knew the lady. She is fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation lack of an outward order. We have not only for the propagation of a dower in the coffin of our friends from whom we thought to hide our love until time made them for us. But it chances that the stealth of our most mutual entertainment is of a character too grossly writ on Juliet. And then the new deputy to the Duke. Whether it be the fault and glimpse of newness, or the body public be a horse whereon the governor doth ride, and freshly in his seat lets it known that he can command, and lets it straight feel the spur. And to make a name, this deputy puts this drowsy and neglected act freshly upon me. 'Tis surely for a name.
I warrant it is. Send after the Duchess and appeal to her.
I've done so, but she's not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Implore her in my voice. That she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have hope that for in her youth, there's a prone and speechless dialect that such as move men. And besides, when reason and discourse are involved, she hath prosperous art, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may, as for the encouragement of the like, which would stand under grievous imposition for the enjoying of thy life, which I would be sorry should be thus foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. Out to her.
I thank you, my good friend Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer. Away.
Holy sister, the reason why I doth desire to give thee secret harbour hath a purpose far more grave than the aims and ends of burning you.
May your grace speak of it?
I have, upon Lord Angelo, given him absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me travel to Poland, and so I have strown it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, holy sister, you will demand of me why I have done this.
Gladly, my lady.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws here in Vienna, the most needful bits and curbs for headstrong weeds, which for these last several years we have let slip, like an overgrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Even now, as matron mothers who have bound up the threatening twigs of birch only to wave it in their children's sight for terror not to use, in time, the mud, the rod, more mocked than feared. And so our decrees, dead to infliction, they on themselves are dead, and quite athwart goes all the court.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. Since 'twas my fault to give my people scope, 'twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. For we bid this be done, when evil deeds have the permissive pass and not the punishment. Therefore, indeed, holy sister, I have imposed upon Angelo the office, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home, yet never my name in the fight to do in slander. And, to behold his sway, I will, as 'twere, a sister of your order, visit both princess and people. Therefore, I prithee, sister, supply me with the habit and instruct me how I may bear to people like a true sister. More reasons will I provide for this at thy leisure. Here's one. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy. He scarce confesses that his blood flows or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Therefore, we shall see, when power changes places, what our seamers will be.
And have your nuns no farther privileges?
Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votaress of St. Clair.
Oh, peace be in this place.
Peace and prosperity. Who is that calls?
Gentle Isabella, turn you the key and know their business. You may, I may not, you are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak but in the presence of the priors. Then if you speak, you must not show your face. Or if you show your face, you must not speak. They call again. I pray you answer.
Hail, Virgin! If you be, as if she grows to proclaim you are no less. You so stead me as to direct me to Isabella, a novice to this place and fair sister to our unhappy brother Claudio.
Why her unhappy brother? Let me ask the rather, for I now must make you know, I am that Isabella and his sister.
Gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
Woe me. For what?
An act which, if I might be his judge, he should receive his punishment and thanks. He hath got his friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
'Tis true, your brother and his lover have embraced. As those that feed grow full, even so her plenteous womb expresses his full tithe and husbandry.
Someone with child by him? My cousin Juliet.
Is she your cousin?
Adoptedly. His soulmates change her name by vain though act affection.
She it is.
Oh, let him marry her.
This is the point. The Duchess is very strangely gone from hence, but in her place, and with full line of her authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snowbroth, one who never feels the wants and sings or motions of the sense, but doth rebate and glut his natural edge with profits of the mind, study and fast. He, to give fear to use and liberty, hath picked out an act under whose heavy sentence your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it and follows close the rigor of the statute to make him an example. All hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften Angelo. And that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has censured him already, and as I hear, Aeschylus hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good?
Say the power you have.
My power? Alas, I doubt that.
Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know. When maidens sue, men give like gods. But when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would owe it.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight. No longer staying, but to give the sister notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon and night I'll send him certain word of my success.
I take my leave of you.
Mustn't make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and then he'd keep one shape till custom makes it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us be keen and rather cut a little than bruise and fall to death. Alas, this gentleman whom I would save had a most noble father. Let but your honour know whom I believe to be most straight in virtue. That, in the working of your own affections, had time cohered the place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your blood could have attained the effects of your own purpose. Whether you had not sometime in your life erred in this point which now you censure him, and pulled the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may have in the sworn 12 a thief or two, guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. What knows the laws of thieves do pass on other thieves? You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I that censure him in this regard do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Madam, he dies.
Be it as your wisdom will.
See you that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor, and let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him and forgive us all. Some rise by sin and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice and answer none, and some condemned for a fault alone. It grieves me for the death of Claudio, but there is no remedy. Lord Angelo is severe. It is but needful. Mercy is not itself as it oft looks so, and pardon is still the nurse of second woe, but poor Claudio, there's no remedy.
Now, what's the matter, Aeschylus?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did not I tell thee yea? Hast thou not order? Why dost thou ask again?
Lest I might be too rash, under your good correction, I have seen when, after execution, judgment hath repented o'er his doom.
Go to. Let that be mine. Do you your office, or give up your place, and you will well be spared.
I crave your honor's pardon. What is to be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitting place, and that with speed.
Here's the sister of the man condemned, desires access to you.
Hath he a sister?
I, my good lord, a very virtuous maid, add to me shortly of a sisterhood, if not already.
Well, let it be admitted. See that the fornicatress be removed. Give her needful but not lavish means. There shall be order for it.
Save your honor.
Yet stay a while. You're welcome. What you will.
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me.
Well, your suit.
There is a vice that I most do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am, at war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter?
I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault and not my brother.
Condemn the fault and not the actor of it? Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function, to find the faults whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor.
Oh, just but severe law. I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honor.
Give not over so. To him again, entreat him, kneel before him, hang upon his gown. You are too cold. If you should need a pin, you could not with a more tame tongue desire it. To him, I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think you might pardon him. Neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But might you do, and do the world no wrong, so your heart would touch with that remorse as mine is to him.
He's sentenced. 'Tis too late.
Too late? Why, no. I that to speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to great ones longs, not the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe, become with them one so half a good as grace as mercy does. If he had been as you, and you as he, you'd have slipped like him, but he like you would not have been so stern.
Pray you be gone.
I would to heaven I had your potency, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No, I would 'twere what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner.
I touch him, there's the vein.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you would waste your words.
Alas, alas! By all the souls that I forfeit once, and he might that the vantage best took have found out the remedy. How would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge you as you are? Oh, think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man new made.
Be you content, fair maid. It is the law, not I, condemns your brother. Were he my brother, kinsman, or son, it would be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, that's sudden. Spare him, spare him. He's not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens we kill the fallow season. Should we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister our gross selves? Good, my lord, but thank you. Who is it that have died for this offense? There's many have committed it.
Hey, well said.
The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do the evil, if the first that did the edict infringe to answer for his deeds. Now 'tis awake, takes note of what is done, and like a prophet looks in a glass that shows what future evils, either now of a reminiscent new conceived, in progress to be hatched and born, are now to have no successive degrees, but ere they live to end.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice, for then I pity those I do not know, which a dismissed offense would after gall. And does him right that answering one foul wrong, he lives not to act another. Oh, be you satisfied your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first that gives the sentence, and he that suffers. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
That's well said.
Good great man thunder, as Jove himself does. Jove would never be quiet, for every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt splits the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft mortal. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape that plays fantastic tricks before high heaven and makes the angels weep, who with our spleens would all themselves lack mortal.
Oh, to him, wench, he's coming, he will relent, I perceive it.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because authority. Towards like the others, have yet to kind of medicine in itself that skins the vice over top. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault. It confess to natural guiltness such as his, that not a sound upon your tongue be against my brother's life.
Very well.
Gentle, my lord, turn back.
I will bethink it me. Come again tomorrow.
Hark how I'll bribe you. Good, my lord. Turn back.
How bribe me?
For such gifts that heaven shall share with you.
You had murdered all else.
Not with bond sickles of detested gold, or stones whose rate either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with true prayers that shall rise up to heaven and enter there ere sunrise. Prayers for preserved souls whose fasting maidens whose minds are dedicated to nothing temporal.
Will come to me tomorrow.
Go to, 'tis well, away.
Heaven keep your honor safe.
Amen. For in that way going to temptation which prayers cross.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
Anytime for noon.
Save your honor.
From thee, even from thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted, who sins most? Not she, nor doth she tempt. But it is I that, lying by the violet in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower, corrupt with virtuous season. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than woman's lightness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Oh, fie! 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 What dost thou? Or what art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her foully for those things that make her good? We'll let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when the judges steal themselves. What? Do I love her that I desire to hear her speak again and feast my eyes upon hers? What is't I dream on? Oh, cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints dost bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that goes us on to sin in loving virtue. This virtuous maid subdues me quite. Ever till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how.
Hail to thee, Aeschylus. So I think thee art.
I am Aeschylus. What's your will, good sister?
Bound by my charity and my blessed order, I have come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common right to let me see them and to let me know the nature of their crimes that I may minister to them accordingly.
I would do more than that if more were needful. Look, here comes one, a gentlewoman of mine, who, falling in the flaws of her youth, hath blistered her report. She is with child, and he that got it, sentenced. A young man more fit to do another such offence than die for this.
When must he die?
As I do think it, tomorrow. I have provided for you. Stay a while, and you shall be conducted.
Repent you, fair one, of the sins you carry.
I do, and I bear the shame with much patience.
I shall teach you how to arraign your conscience and your penitence, if it be sound or hollowly put on.
I'll gladly learn.
Love you the man that wronged you,
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
so that it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed.
I do confess it and repent it, sister, and will bear the shame with joy.
Rest. Your partner, as I must hear, must die tomorrow. And I'm going with instruction to him. Grace go with you. Benedicite.
Must die tomorrow. O interest, love that respite me a life and whose comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray to several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabel. God in my mouth, as if I only did but chew his name, and in my heart the strong and swelling evil of my conception. The state whereon I studied is like a good thing being oft read grown sere and tedious. Let's write good angel on the devil's horn, is not the devil's crest. Oh now, who's there? Oh heavens, why does my blood thus mutter to my heart, making it both unable for itself and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness? How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
And you might know it would much better please me than to demand what is. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
Yet may he live a while, and it may be as long as you or I, but he must die.
Under your sentence.
Yea.
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Fie, these filthy vices. It were all as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit their saucy sweetness that do coin God's image and stamps that are forbid. It were all as easy falsely to take away a life true made, as to put metal in restrained means to make a false one.
'Tis set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
Say you so? Then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather, that the most just law now took your brother's life, or to redeem him? Give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she hath stained.
Sir, believe this, I'd rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul. Our compelled sins stand more for number than for account.
How say you?
I will not warrant that, for I can speak against the thing I say. But answer me this. I, now the voice of the recorded law, pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be a charity in sin to save this brother's life?
Please you to do't. I'll take it as a peril to my soul. It is no sin at all, but charity.
Please you to do it, at peril of your soul, or equal poise of sin and charity.
That I do beg his life. If it be sin, heaven lets me bear it. You granting of my sin. If that be sin, I'll make it my more prayer to add it to the false of mine, nothing of your answer.
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant or seem so crafty, and that's not good.
Let me be ignorant and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
Thus wisdom, which is to appear most bright when it doth tax itself. But mark me, to receive it plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So?
And his offense is so, it seems, account of the law upon that pain.
True.
Admit no other way to save him, as I subscribe not that nor any other, but in the loss of question that you, his sister, finding yourself, desired. For such a person whose credit with the judge or own great place could fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-binding law, and that there were no earthly mean to save him, but that you must give up the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else let him suffer. What would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, if I were under the terms of death. The keen impressions of whips I'd wear as rubies and strip myself to death to a bed longing been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die?
And 'twere the cheaper way. After a brother died once and that a sister, her redeeming him should die forever.
Were not you then as cruel as the sentence you had slandered so?
Ignominy and ransom and free pardon of 2 houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, and yet rather prove the sliding of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Oh, pardon us, my lord. It all falls out. To have what we would have, we speak not what we mean. Something to excuse the thing I hate for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all frail. Nay, women are frail too.
Aye, as the glasses are as they view themselves, and many are easy prey as they make forms. Woman, hope heaven, men creation mar and profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail. We are soft as our complexions are, incredulous to false prints.
I think it well. And from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no stronger than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words. Be you as you are, that is, a woman. If you be more, you are none. If you be one, as you are well expressed by all external warrants, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one. Gentle, my lord, let me entreat you speak the former language.
Plainly conceive I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me he should die for it.
He shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue hath license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is to pluck on others.
Leave me upon mine honor. My words express my purpose.
Ha! But to honor to be much believe, in most pernicious purpose. Seeming, I will proclaim thee, Angelo. Look for't. Sign me a present pardon for my brother. With an outstretched throat, I will tell the world aloud what man thou art.
And who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austernness of my life, my vouch against yours, and my place in the state will so your accusation overweigh until you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I have begun, and now I give my sensual race the rein. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite. Lie by all niceties and voluptuous blushes that banish what they sue for. Redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body to my will, or he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out to lingering difference. Answer me tomorrow by the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false or ways your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this? Who would believe me? Oh, hairless mouths, to spare them in one and the selfsame tongue, either of condemnation or proof, bidding the law make courtesy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite to follow as it draws. Ah, to my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor, that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her bodies do suit to such abhorrent pollution. Then, Isabel, live chaste, and, brother, die. More than her brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and bid his mind to death for his soul's rest.
So, then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo?
Miss will have no other medicine but only hope. I have hope to live, and am prepared to die.
Be absolute for death. Death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Thou art death's fool. Thou art not happy. Thou art not noble. For what thou hast not, thou strivest to get, and for what thou hast, forgettest. If thou art rich, thou art poor. Thou hast neither youth nor age. Thou hast neither heat nor limb nor beauty nor affection to make thy riches pleasant. What's yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet hid in this life lies hid more 1,000 deaths. Yet death we fear. Well, that makes these odds. I'll leave it.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die, and in seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What ho! Peace here, grace, and good company.
Come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I will visit you again.
I thank you, most holy sister.
My business is a word or two of Claudia.
And very welcome. Look, Signor, here's your sister.
Aeschylus, a word aside.
What's your will, sister?
Bring me to hear them speak where I may be concealed.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall make an everlasting leisure. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
And such one as, to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There's a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that 'twill free your life but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Aye, just perpetual durance, a restraint, though all the world's facility you had, to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
As such one as you consent to into it, that shall arc your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverish life shouldst entertain, in 6 or 7 winters more respect to a perpetual honor. Durst thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds the pain as great as when a giant dies.
Why you give me the shame? Do you think I can a resolution fetch from such flowery tenderness? If I am to die, I'm to take darkness as my bride and hug it in mine arms.
First spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life from base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose deliberate word and settled visage nips you in the head. In folly's doth the newest falcon doth the foul, is yet a devil. His filth in being cast. You appear upon as deep as hell.
The Prenzi Angelo?
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damned spy to invest and cover itself in Prenzi guards. Thus thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be freed.
Oh heavens, it cannot be!
Yes, he would give it to thee from this rank offense, so to offend him still. This next satana must rule what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it!
Oh, words but my life. I throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. He has affections in him that thus make him nip the law by the nose when he would force it. Sure, 'tis no sin, or if the deadly 7 it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be so perdurably fined? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life a hateful.
Aye, but to die and go where we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to rot. The sensible, worn notion to become a kneaded clod. The delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in a thrilling region of thick ribbed ice. To be blown around the pendant world with restless violence and viewless winds. To be worse, the worst. That the impatient and immoral imagine howling, it's too horrible. Most wretched, loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature as a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas.
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with a deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is it not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother played, my father fair. For such a warped slip of wilderness ne'er issue from his blood. Take my defiance. Die! Perish! Might but my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate. It should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death. No word to save thee.
Hear me, Isabel!
Oh, fie! Thy sin's not accidental, but to trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bond. 'Tis best that thou diest quickly.
Hear me, Isabella!
Vouchsafe, a word, young sister, but one word.
What is your will?
If you might dispense with your leisure, I would by and by like to have some speech with you, the likewise of which would be your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs, but I'll attend you a while.
Son, I hath overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the intention of corrupting her. He hath only made an assay of her virtue, for which to practice his judgment on the disposition of natures. She, having that truth of honor in her, hath made him that most gracious denial which he is glad to receive. I am his confessor, and I know this to be true. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees and make ready.
I beg your pardon, my sister. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it.
Aeschylus,
What's your will, sister?
leave me a moment with the maid. I promise that with my habit, no loss shall touch her by my company.
In good time.
The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The assault that Angelo hath conveyed to you, fortune hath conveyed to me. How do you do to content this substitute in the sin of your brother?
I am now going to resolve him. I'd rather my brother die by the law than to have my son unlawfully born. But, oh, how much is the good Duchess deceived in Angelo? If ever she return, and I can speak to her, I will open my lips in vain or discover her government.
That shall not be much amiss. But as the matter now stands, Angelo will avoid your accusation. He hath made trial of you only. Therefore fasten your ear. By the love I have of doing good, a remedy hath presented itself, for which I do believe you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a most merited benefit. Redeem your brother from the angry law. Do no stain to your own honor, and much please the absent Duchess if she shall ever return, peradventure, to have hearing of this business.
Let me hear you speak farther. Have spared to do anything that does not appear foul within the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold and goodness never fearful. Hast thou heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who was wracked at sea?
I have heard of the lady. In good words went of her name.
She should this Angelo have married. Her brother perished in sea, and in that vessel her marriage dowry. But mark how heavily this befell this poor gentlewoman. There she lost her fortune, her brother, her marriage dowry, and her well-competent husband, this seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her in her tears, and dried not one of them with his comfort. Swallowed his vows whole, pretending in him discoveries of dishonor. And he, a marble to her tears, is washed with them, but relents not.
What a merit were in death to leave this poor maid from the world! And what corruption in this revel let this man live!
It is a corruption, but the cure of which not only saves your brother, but keeps you from dishonor in doing it.
Show me how, good sister.
This forenamed maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. His unjust unkindness, which by all reason should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment in the current, only made it more violent and unruly. Go you to Angelo. Answer his requirings with a plausible obedience. Agree with his demands to the point. Refer yourself only to this advantage. First, that your stay with him shall not be long, that the time shall have all shadow and silence in it, that the place answer to convenience. We shall advise this wrong and maid to stead up your appointment. Go in your place. If the encounter should acknowledge itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And then by this is your brother saved, the poor Mariana advantaged, your honor untainted, and the corrupt deputy scaled. If you think to carry this as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to her most prosperous perfection.
There lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angelo. If for this night he entreat you to his bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I for a while will presently to St. Luke's. There resides this dejected Mariana. At that place call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good sister.
Bless you, sister.
And you?
What news abroad, sister? What news, sister, of the Duchess?
I know none. Can you tell me of any?
Some say she's with the Emperor of Russia. Others some she's in Rome. But where is she, think you?
I know not where, but wheresoever I wish her well.
It was a mad fantastical trait of her to usurp the beggary and steal from the state. Lord Angelo dukes it well in her absence. He puts transgressions to it.
He does well in it.
A little more lenity and lechery would do no harm in him. Something too crabbed that way, sister.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure it.
Why, what a ruthless thing this is in him! For the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man. Would the Duchess as absent have done this? There, she would have hanged the man for getting 100 bastards. She would have paid for the nursing 1,000. She had some sense of the sport. She knew the service, and that instructed her to mercy.
I never knew the absent Duchess to be much inclined for fornication. She was not inclined that way.
Oh, miss, you were deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Miss, I was an inward of hers. A shy woman was the Duchess, and I believe I know the cause of her withdrawing.
Oh, I pray thee, what was the cause?
No. Pardon. Secret must be kept within the teeth and the lips. But this I can let you know. The greater file of the subject held the Duchess to be wise.
Wise? By why no question she was wise.
A very superficial, ignorant, unweighing woman.
Either this is envy in you, folly, or mistaking. Therefore you speak unskillfully, or if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your malice.
Miss, I know her and I love her.
Love speaks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dear love.
Come, miss, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since you know not what you speak. But if the Duchess shall ever return, which our prayers are that she may, I shall pray that you shall have meet with her. I pray thee, sir. Thy name?
Miss, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duchess.
She shall know you better, sir, ere I live to report it.
I fear you not. But no more of this. Farewell.
What queen so strong can tie the call up in slanderous tongue? What might or greatness and mortality can censure escape? Who comes here?
What news abroad in the world?
None, but there is a fever so great in goodness that only the dissolution of it can cure it. But this is old news, yet it is every day's news. I pray thee, man, of what disposition was the Duchess?
One that, above all other strifes, contended especially to know herself.
What pleasures was she given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another marry than marry at anything that professed to make her rejoice. A gentlewoman of all temperance. But leave we her to her events with a prayer that they may prove prosperous. And let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I made to understand you have lent him visitation.
He hath professed to have received no sinister measure from the judge, and royally humbles himself to the righteous determination of justice. He's prepared to die.
You've paid the heavens your function, and the prisoner the very debt of your calling. I have labored for the poor gentleman to the extremest shore of my modesty, but brother Justice hath proven himself so severe, he hath forced me to tell him he is indeed Justice.
If he live up to the strictness of his own proceedings, then is he fair. Meanwhile, if he fails, then he hath sentenced himself.
I'm going to visit the prisoner. Fare you well.
Fare you well. She who the sword of heaven shall bear shall be as holy as severe. Pattern in herself to know, grace to stand and virtue go, more nor less to others paying than by self-offences win. Craft against vice I must apply. So tonight with Angelo shall lie his old betrothed but despised, and disguised by the disguised, shall pay with falsehood false exacting, and perform an old contracting.
comforts. His advice have often stilled my brawling discontent. I cry mercy, ma'am, and well could wish you had not found me here so musical. Let me excuse me, and believe me so, my mirth it much displeased, but pleased my woe.
'Tis good, though music oft hath such charm to make bad good and good provoke to harm. I pray thee, hath anybody inquired of me here today? Much upon this time have I promised here to meet.
You have not been inquired after.
I do constantly believe you, but the time has come even now. Maybe I will call upon you anon, for some advantage to yourself?
I am always bound to you.
Well met. And what is the news from this good deputy?
He hath a garden circumfered with brick, whose western side is with a vineyard back. In the vineyard lies a plancher gate, which leads his opening with this bigger key. This other doth command a little door, which from the vineyard to the garden leads. There I have made my promise, upon the heavy middle of the night, to call upon him.
Shall you on your knowledge know this way?
I have taken the due and wary note upon, with whispering and most guilty diligence, in action of all precept. He did show me the way twice o'er.
But are there no other tokens between you agreed concerning this observance?
No, none, but only a repair in the dark. And I have possessed him that my stay can be but brief. And I have told him I have a servant that comes with me along that stays upon me, whose persuasion is, I come about to my brother.
'Tis well borne up. I have not yet made known to Mariana a word of this. Mariana, come forward. I pray you be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the light.
Do you know that I respect you?
I know you do, sister, and I have found it.
Take this then, thy companion by the hand, who hath the story ready for your ear. I shall attend your leisure, but make haste. The vaporous night approaches.
Will it please you to walk aside?
O place, O greatness, volumes of report run up with thy false and contrarious quests upon thy doing. Thousand escapes of wit make thee the father of their idle dreams and rack thee in their fancies. What news?
She'll take the enterprise upon her, sister, if you advise it.
Does not my consent but my entreaty too?
Little have you to say, and you depart from him but soft and low. Remember now, my brother. Fear me not.
Nor fear you, good sister. He is your husband on a pre-contract. But come, let us go.
Heavens give your spirits comfort, sister.
And the most heavenly spirits of the night envelop you, Aeschylus.
What comfort is for Claudio?
There's some in hope.
It is a bitter deputy.
Not so, not so. His life is parallel, even with the line and stroke of his great justice. That which he subdues in himself with holy abstinence, he spurs on his power to control in others. Were he mild on that which he corrects, then were he tyrannous, but this being so, he is just. But have you no counterman for Claudio yet? Must he die?
None, madam, none.
As near the dawning as 'tis, Aeschylus, you shall hear more ere morning.
Yet I believe there comes no countermand. No such example have we. Besides, upon the very siege of justice, Lord Angelo hath to the public ear professed the contrary. This is his lordship's emissary.
And this is Claudio's pardon.
My lord hath sent you this note, and by me this further charge, that you swerve not from the smallest article of it, neither in time, matter, or other circumstance. Good morrow, for as I take it, it is nearly day.
I shall obey him.
This is the pardon, purchased by such sin for which the pardoner himself is in. What news, ma'am?
I told you. Lord Angelo be like thinking me remiss in mine office hath awoken me with this unwonted putting on, methinks strangely, for he hath not used it before.
I pray you, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock. For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent to me by 5. Let this be duly performed with an action that more so depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus, fail not to do your office, or you will answer it at your peril. What say you to this, madam?
More of this anon. Aeschylus, there's written in your brow honesty and constancy. If I may be wrong, then my ancient skill beguiles me, but by the boldness of my cunning, I lay myself in hazard. I do require of thee both a dangerous and present courtesy, for which, to explain the importance, I will require but 4 days' respite.
Pray, madam, in what?
In the delaying death.
Alack! How may I do this, having the hour limited, and an express command, under penalty, to deliver the head in the view of Angelo? I may make my case as Claudio's to cross this in the smallest.
By the vow of mine order, let my instruction be thy guide. Have another's head be often sent to Angelo.
Angelo hath seen Claudio, and will discover the favor.
Death's a great disguiser, and you may add to it. Shave the head and tie the beard. Say it was the will of the penitent to be so bared before his death. You know the course is common. Aeschylus, if anything but favor and good fortune shall befall thee from this, I promise, by my saint, I will vouch for thee.
Pardon me, good sister. It is against my oath.
Were you sworn to the Duchess or to the deputy?
To her and her substitutes.
What if the Duchess does not vouch for this dealing?
But what is the likelihood in that?
Not a resemblance, but a certainty. Look you here. The hand and seal of the Duchess. I trust you know the character, and the signet is not strange to you.
I know them both.
The contents of this remark the return of the Duchess, where you will find that within 2 days she shall be here. This is a thing that Angelo knows not, for of this very day he receives letters of a strange tenor. Perchance of the Duchess's death, perchance of her entering into some monastery, but by chance none of what is writ. Put yourself not into amazement. All difficulties are but easy when they are known. But come away, it is almost clear dawn.
There's in the prison, sister, there that died this morning of a cruel fever, one Ragozine, a most notorious pirate, a man of Claudio's years, his beard and head just of his color. What if we do omit this reprobate till he were well inclined to satisfy the deputy with the visage of Ragozine, more like to Claudio?
'Tis an accident that heaven doth provide. Dispatch it presently. The hour draws on, prefixed by Angelo. Let this be done and sent according to demand.
I will do it, good sister, presently. But how shall we continue Claudio to save me from the danger that were to come if he were known alive?
Let this be done. Put him in secret holds ere twice the sun hath made his journal greeting to yonder generation. You shall find your safety manifested.
I am your free dependent.
On your way.
Peace ho be here.
The tongue of Isabel. She comes to know of her brother's pardon, but I will keep her ignorant of this good, to make her heavenly comforts of despair when it is least expected.
By your leave.
Good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter.
The better, given me by so holy a lady. Have you at the deputy sent my brother's pardon?
He hath released him from the world. His head is off and sent to Angelo.
Nay, but it is not so.
I'm afraid it is. May your patience guard your heart and keep you close in this time.
Oh, I will to him and pluck out his eyes!
He will not be admitted to his sight.
Unhappy Claudio, wretched Isabel, injurious for a most damned Angelo!
Dry your eyes, give your cause to heaven. Mark what I say. The Duchess returns home tomorrow. One of my convent and her confessor gives me this instance. Already Aeschylus and Angelo do prepare to meet her at the gates, to give up thy power. If you would pace your wisdom in that good path that I would wish it go, you shall have revenges to your heart, your bosom on this wretch in general honor.
I am directed by you.
This letter then, to Sister Francis give. Say that by this token I desire her company at Mariana's house tonight. As for myself, I'm combined by a sacred vow and must be absent. Who comes here?
Good evening, sister. Where's Aeschylus?
Not here.
Oh, pretty Isabella. I am ill in mine heart to see thine eyes so red. Thou must be patient. They say the Duchess will be here tomorrow. By my troth, Isabella, I love thy brother. If the old fantastical Duchess of Dark Corners had been here, he had lived.
Sir, the Duchess is marvelous little beholding to thy reports, but the best is she lives not in them.
Sister, thou knowest not the Duchess so well as I do. She's a better fishwife than thou takest her for.
You will answer for this someday. Very well.
Nay, tarry. I'll go along with thee. I can tell thee pretty tales of the Duchess.
Sir, that company is fairer than honest. Very well.
By my troth, I'll go with thee to the lane's end. I'm a kind of burr. I shall stick.
Every letter she hath writ hath dispatched other.
In most uneven and distracted manner. Her actions show much like to madness. Pray heaven her wisdom be not tainted. And why meet her at the gate to deliver our authorities there?
I guess not.
And why should we proclaim it, an hour before her entrance, that if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the street?
She shows her reason for that. To create a dispatch of complaints and to deliver us from devices hereafter, which shall then have no power to stand against us.
Well, I beseech you that it be proclaimed. Betimes in the morn I'll call you at your house. Give notice to such men of sword and suit as ought to meet with her.
I shall, sir. Fare you well.
Good night. This deed unshapes me quite. Makes me impregnant and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid, and by an eminent body that enforced the law upon it. But that a tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss. How might she tongue me? But reason dares her no. For my authority bears of a creed and bulk that no particular scandal once can touch, but it confounds the breather. He should have lived, save that his dangerous youth with riotous sense might have in the time to come have taken revenge for receiving a dishonored life with ransom of such shame. Would yet he had lived. Alack, when once on grace we have forgot, nothing goes right. We would and we would not.
Letters at a fit time deliver me. Aeschylus knows our purpose and our plot. The matter being afoot, keep your instruction with what you close to our special drift, though you may blench from this to that as cause doth minister. And bid them bring the trumpets to the gate.
It shall be speeded well. To speak so indirectly, I am loath. I would say the truth, but to accuse him so, that is your part. It's I advise to do it, she says, to baleful purpose.
Be ruled by her.
Besides, she tells me that if peradventure she were to speak against me on the adverse side, I should not think it strange, 'tis a physic that's bitter to sweet end.
I would if Sister Frances here and...
Oh, peace, the sister is come.
Come, I have found you how to stand most fit, where you may have such vantage on the Duchess she shall not pass you. Twice have the trumpet sounded. The generous and gravest citizens have entered the gates, and very near upon the Duchess is entering. Therefore hence away.
Worthy cousin, my old and faithful friend, we are glad to see you.
May
Happy
I make
return
your
be to your
acquaintance,
royal
dear Duchess.
Many hearty thankings to you both. I've made inquiry of you, and I've heard such goodness of your justice that it cannot help but yield itself forth to public thanks for running more requital.
You make my bond still greater.
Oh, your desert speaks loud, and I should wrong it to lock it in the wards of covered bosom when it deserves with characters of brass, afforded resonance against the tooth of time and razor of oblivion. Come, give me thy hand, and let the subject see that outward courtesies would fain proclaim that would keep within. Aeschylus, by us on our other hand. Oh, good supporters are you.
Now's your time. Speak loud and before her. Justice,
O royal Duchess, bear your guard upon a wrong. I would fain have said, maid. O worthy princess, dishonor not your eye by throwing it on any other object till you have heard me in my true complaint and given me justice. Justice? Justice? Justice.
Justice? In what? By whom? Here's Lord Angelo to give you justice. Reveal yourself to him.
O worthy Duchess, you bid me seek redemption on the devil. Hear me yourself, for that which I speak must either punish me not being believed or wring redress from you. Hear me, oh hear me here.
My lady, her wits I fear me are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother cut off by course of justice.
By course of justice?
And she will speak most bitterly and strange.
Most strange, but yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer, it's not strange. That Angelo's an adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator, is it not strange and strange?
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
It is not true he is Angelo, then this is all true as it is strange. Nay, it is 10 times true, for truth is truth to the end of reckoning.
Away with her poor soul, she speaks in the infirmity of sense.
O princess, I conjure thee, as art believest there's another comfort in this world, that thou not neglect with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible that which but seems unlike. 'Tis not impossible but one, the wickedest caitiff on the ground, may seem as shy, as grave, as just as absolute as Angelo. Even so may Angelo, in all his dressings, caracts, titles, forms, be an arch villain. Believe it, royal princess. If he be less, he's none, but he's more, had I more name for badness.
By mine honesty, if she be mad, as I believe no other, her madness hath the oddest frame of sense, such a dependency of thing on thing as e'er I heard in madness.
O Duchess, harp not on that, nor do not banish reason for living quality, but let your reason serve to unveil the truth where it seems hid, and hide the false seems true.
Many who are not mad that have sure more lack of reason. What would you say to this?
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head, condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother, one Lucio, as then the messenger.
That's I, and like your grace, I was sent to her by Claudio for her poor brother's pardon, for her to try her gracious fortune with Lord Angelo.
That's he indeed.
You were not bid to speak.
No, my lady, nor wish to hold my peace.
I wish it now, then. And when you have a business for yourself, pray you heaven then be perfect.
I warrant your honor.
The warrant's for yourself. Take heed to it.
This gentleman told somewhat of my tale.
Right.
It may be right, but you are in the wrong to speak for your time. Proceed.
I went to this pernicious caitiff deputy.
That's someone madly spoken.
Pardon it, the phrase is to the matter.
Ah, the matter. Proceed.
In brief, to set the needless process by, how I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled, how he repelled me, and how I replied. For this was of much length. The vile conclusion I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body, to his concupiscible intemperate lust, release my brother. And after much debatement, my sisterly remorse confused my honor, and I did yield to him. But the next morn betimes, his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head.
This is most unlikely.
Oh, that is like as it is true.
By heaven, fond wretch, thou art suborned against his honor, or thou knowest not what thou speak. First, his integrity is without blemish. Next, it imports with no reason that he should pursue with such vehemency faults proper to himself. If he had so offended, he would have weighed thy brother by himself and not cut him off. Someone hath sent you here. Confess the truth. Who hath sent you here to complain?
And is this all? Then, Oh, you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil here that is wrapped up in countenance. Heaven shield your grace from woe. As I thus wrong, hence unbelieved go.
I know you fain begone, Aeschylus, to prison with her. Shall we thus permit such a blasting and scandalous breath to fall on him so near us? This needs must be a practice. Who hath sent you here?
One that I would were here, Sister Ludovic.
A ghostly sister belike. Who knows of this Sister Ludovic?
My lady, I know her. She's a ghost. I do not like the woman. Had she been lay, my lady, for certain words she spake against your grace and your retirement, I'd swing her soundly.
Words against me, and this a holy sister belike, and to set this woman on here against our substitute, well, let this sister be found.
But yesternight, my lady, she and that sister, I saw them at the prison. Saucy sister, very scurvy woman.
Blessed be your royal grace. I have stood by, my lady, and I have heard you royally abused. First hath this woman most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil as she from one ungot.
As I did believe no other. Know you of this Sister Ludovic?
I know her for a lady divine and holy, not scurvy nor a temporary meddler as she's reported by this gentleman, nor, as they vouch, a lady that did misreport your grace.
My lady, most villainously, believe it.
She in time may come to clear herself, but it says that she is sick, my lady, of a strange fever. Upon her mere request, being come to knowledge there was complaint intended against Lord Angelo, came I hither, to speak us from her mouth what she doth know is true and false, and what she with her oath and all probation should make full clear whensoever she's convented. First for this woman to justify this worthy nobleman so vulgarly and personally accused, her should he here disprove it to her eyes till she herself confess it.
Well, let this be done then. Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Do not smile at this, Lord Angelo. Come. In this I'll be impartial. Be you judge of your own cause. Ah, this is her. Well, let her first be unveiled, then we shall hear her speak.
Pardon, my lady, I will not show my face until my husband bids me.
What, are you married?
No, my lady.
Ah, you're a maid then.
No, my lady.
A widow then.
Neither, my lady.
Why then you are nothing. You are neither maid nor widow nor wife.
My lady, I do confess I ne'er was married, and I confess besides I am no maid. I have known my husband, yet my husband knows not that he ever knew me.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
When I come to it, she that accuses him of fornication, self-same manner, doth accuse my husband, and charges him, my lady, with such a time when, I'll dispose, I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
Charges she more than me?
Not that I know.
No, but you say your husband.
My lady, that is Angelo. He who thinks he ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me. How I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, who once thou swart'st was worth the looking on. This is the hand, with vowed contract, was fast belocked in thine. And this is the body that stole the max from Isabel and supplied thee at thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman, Lord Angelo?
My lady, I must confess I know this woman. 5 years hence there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was cut off. In part, that her promised proportion came short of composition, but in chief, that her reputation was as valued in levity. Since which time of 5 years, I never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her, upon my faith and honor.
Noble princess, as there is light from heaven and words from breath, there is a sense in truth and virtue. I am affianced this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows. But Tuesday night last gone in his garden house, he knew me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or forever be confixed here a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lady, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor informal women are no more but instruments of some more mightier member that sets them on. Give me way, my lady, to find this practice out.
Ah, with my heart. Punish them to the height of your pleasure. Thou foolish woman, thou pernicious sister, Thinkest thou thy oaths, though they swore down each particular saint, were a testimony against his worth and credit that sealed an approbation? Well, there's an absent sister that has sent them on it. Let this sister be found.
Would she were here, my lady, for she hath set women on to this complaint.
Well, let her be found. And you, my noble and well-warranted cousin, for whom it does concern to hear this matter forth, do with your injuries as seems you best in any chastisement. I for a while must leave you, but stir not, till you have well determined upon these slanders.
My lady will do it thoroughly. Signor Lucio, did not you say you knew this Sister Ludovic to be a dishonest person?
Honest in nothing but her clothes, and one that hath spoken most villainous speeches of the Duchess.
We shall entreat you to abide here until she come and enforce them against her. We will find this sister a notable woman.
As any in Vienna, on my word.
Call that same Isabel here once again. I would speak with her. Pray you, my lord, give me leave to question her. You'll see how I'll handle her.
Not better than he by her own report.
Say you? I'll go darkly to work with her. Come, mistress. Here's a gentlewoman denies all you have said.
My lady, this is the rascal I spoke of.
In good time, speak not you to her until we call upon you. Come, ma'am. Did you set these women on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did.
'Tis false.
How? Know you where you are.
Respect and honor to your great palace, and let the devil be sometime honored for his burning throne. But where's the Duchess? Should she who should hear me speak?
The Duchess is in us, and we will hear you speak. Look, you speak justly.
Boldly, at least. But oh, you poor souls, have you come here to seek the lamb of the fox? For 'tis the Duchess's tyranny to put the trial in the villain's mouth, you poor woman, that you have come here to accuse.
This is the rascal, this is she I spoke of.
Why, thou unreverend and unhallowed sister, is it not enough you've suborned these women to accuse this worthy man, but, in foul tongue and in witness of his proper ear, to call him villain, and then to look from him to the Duchess herself and tax her with injustice? To the rack with her. We'll tell her joint by joint, but we will know her true purpose. What? Unjust?
Be you not so hot. The Duchess dare no more stretch this finger of mine than she stretched her own.
Slander to the state. Away with her to prison.
What can you vouch against her, Signor Lucio? Is this the woman you did tell us of?
'Tis she, my lord. Come hither, O holy nun. Do you know me?
Aye, I remember you, sir. I met you at the prison in the absence of the Duchess.
Oh, did you so? And do you remember what you spoke of the Duchess?
Most notedly, sir.
Oh, do you so, miss? And was the Duchess a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward, as you then reported her to be?
You must ere switch persons with me, ere you make that my report, for you indeed spoke that of the Duchess, and much, much worse.
No, thou damnable harlot! Did I not plug thee by the nose for thy speeches?
I profess I love the Duchess as much as I love myself.
Hark! How the villain would close now after her treasonable abuses. Such woman is not to be talked withal. Away with her to prison! Lay bolts enough upon her, let her speak no more.
Stay, sir. Stay a while.
What? Resist she? Help her, Signor Lucio.
Why, you lying rascal. You must be hooded, must you? Show your knave's visage.
Thou art the first knave that e'er madest the Duchess. Stay, sir, a while, for you and the sister must have a word on.
This may prove worse than hanging.
Sit you down, Escalus. What you have spoke, I pardon. We will borrow place of him. And thou, sir, hast thou any word or wit or impudence that yet can do the office? If so, relate it now, until my tale be heard and hold no longer.
Oh, my dread lady! I should be guiltier than my guiltiness to think I can be indiscernible when I perceive your power, like power divine hath looked upon my passes. Then, good princess, no longer such an hold upon my shame, but let my trial be my own confession. Immediate sentence then, and subsequent death is all the grace I beg.
Mariana, come forth. Say, was thou e'er to be contracted to this woman?
I was, my lady.
Ah, Take them forth and marry them instantly, which consummate return them here again.
My lady, I am more amazed at his dishonor than at the strangeness of it.
Come hither, Isabel. For your sister is now your princess. As I was now, not changing heart with habit, I am still eternally devoted to your service.
Oh, give me pardon that I, your vassal, have employed and pained your unknown sovereignty.
You are pardoned, Isabel. And now may you be as free to us. For your brother's death, I know, sits heavily at your heart. And you may wonder why I obscured myself rather than labor to save his life. Well, a life lived only in fear is no life lived at all. Be you content in this, at least, that so happy is your brother.
I do, my lady.
And for this newly married man here, you must pardon from our eyes. But as he so judged your brother, and the very mercy of the law cries out, and Angelo for Claudio, death for death. For haste still pays haste, answer for answer, leisure for leisure, a measure for a measure. Let him be condemned to the very block where Claudio did stoop his head. Away with him to death.
My lady, I hope you will not mock me with a husband.
'Tis your husband that mocked you with a husband. For I thought, fit in consenting to the safeguard of your honor, that his possessions, although by confiscation, we do in widow and instate you with all that you need to buy you a better husband.
But I love no one and no better man.
Never crave him. We are definitive.
Until, my lady,
You do but waste your labor. And now, sir, to you.
my lady, Isabel, lend me your niece, and all my life to come, I will lend myself to do you service.
Against all sense do you importune her. Should she kneel down in mercy of this fact, her brother's ghost would drag her hence in horror.
Isabel, sweet Isabel, do yet but kneel by me. Hold up your hands and say nothing, I will speak all. They say the best men are molded out of faults, and for the most become much more the better for being a little bad. So may my husband. Oh, Isabel, will you not lend a knee?
He dies for Claudio's death.
Most bounteous lady, look, if it please you on this man condemned as if my brother lived, I partly think with due sincerity did govern his deeds till he did look on me. Since it is so, let him not die. My brother has but justice in that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, his action did not overtake his bad intent, and must be buried but as an intent that has perished by the way. Thoughts are no subjects, intents but merely thoughts. Merely, my lady.
Your suit's unprofitable. Stand up, I say. I have bethought me of another error. As for us, how came it to be that Claudio was executed at such an unusual hour?
It was commanded so.
And had you a special warrant for the deed?
No, my lady, it was by private message.
Then I must dismiss thee of thy office. Hand over your keys.
Pardon me, noble lady. I thought it was a fault, but knew it not. Yet it did repent me, after more advice and testimony whereof. One in the prison, who should have by private message died, I have reserved alive.
I wish thou had done so by Claudio. Well, go fetch him hither. I am so sorry that one so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, should slip so grossly, both in the heap of blood and the lack of tempered judgment after.
And I am sorry that what sorrow I procure, and so deep sticks in my penitent heart, that I crave death more willingly than mercy. It is my deserving, and I do entreat it.
What muffled fellow's this?
This is the prisoner I have saved, who should have died when Claudio lost his head, as almost like the Claudio as himself.
Well, then if he be like your brother, then for his sake is he pardoned. And for your lovely sake, give me your hand and say that you will be mine, for he will soon be my brother too. fitter time for that. By this Lord Angelo perceives you safe. Well, Lord Angelo, your evil doth quit you well. See that you love your wife, her worth yours. I find an apt remission in myself, yet, here's one I cannot pardon. You, sirrah, who thought of me an ass, a coward, a madman, one of all luxury. What have I done that made you extol me thus?
Faith, my lady, I spoke it, but according to the trick. If you should hang me for it, you may, but I think it would please you if I should be whipped.
Whipped first, sir. But hanged after. Let him be whipped and hanged. Slandering a princess deserved. Sister, away with him and amend his soul. Claudio, the you that you wronged, look that you restore. Aeschylus, many thanks. What is more behind is more congratulate. We shall employ thee in a worthier place. Angelo, look that you pardon her for bestowing you the head of Ragozine rather than Claudio's. The offense pardons itself. And Angelo, love your wife. I have confessed her, and I know her virtue. Dear Isabel, I have a motion that much imports your good, if your willing ear incline. For what's mine is yours, and for what is yours is mine. So, take us to our palace where we'll show what's yet behind that meets you all should know.